recording. All right, guys. So welcome to our Monday night Slay Squad call. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Holly Hillier, and tonight I am super excited because I'm going to talk to you about getting coaches started right. So when I was talking with the other amazing leaders in this group, we were saying in January that we really focused on recruiting. And now kind of that next step is, okay, so we've recruited coaches. How do we actually get them started so that they're seeing success and we're seeing success in our business? And I guess I just want to preface this by saying, anyone who's on this call, like, you have a top coach and a top team and like amazing resources. And I think one of the mistakes I made as a new coach was feeling like I needed to come in and like recreate the wheel. I needed to create my own trainings because that was the only way that my leaders were going to, or my recruits were going to see me as that leader, if that makes sense. And so I spent a lot of my time as a new coach recreating trainings. And that time would have been better spent doing the vitals, messaging, inviting, finding those new coaches to actually train. So also, you guys, ask questions in the chat because I'm going to go through this, and then I definitely want to come back and answer your questions because I know there's a lot of kind of individual questions that will come out of this. So first off, what resources, kind of ask yourself, what resources did I have when I started? What resources does my upline have available to me right now for my coaches? And utilize those. So when you joined anyone's team, when you join my team, you get the new coach welcome email. And you guys don't feel like you have to like totally recreate that. Sure, put your own spin on it. But for me, that information is what is going to get my coaches started right away. And that is one of my biggest tips as well. We want to make sure that we're getting our coaches started immediately. We want them to be taking action as quickly as possible. So when I have someone who says, hey, just signed up, just completed my share card, or when I go on my coach online office, I want to have something that I can send them right away, whether that be, a quick email or a PDF. I want them to know how to get started without waiting for a getting started right call with me. And in the beginning, I was always like, okay, yeah, you signed up as a coach. Let's set up a getting started right call. And so that meant now they need to sign up and they have to wait. So we've got to schedule a call. I want coaches taking immediate action. So what is in that email that is going to help our coaches get started right without really getting on that call one-on-one with us first? So for my team, and I know many of the coaches also on this call, we have an online training. It's just done through, I use the Thinkific website. It is a 2-week training, really like a 14-day training, but they can step themselves through it. It's all self-paced. So if I have a coach who's like, oh my gosh, I am ready to go, they literally can start and finish the training as quickly as they want. So, and I'm going to show you guys some examples of different kind of training platforms and ways to do it. So I know a lot of coaches have these websites that they can provide to people. So I think it's really important to know, okay, so maybe your face isn't the one like on all the videos, right? But when I have new coaches start, like when you guys first started, it's overwhelming, right? So I often think it's nice if you can say to someone, hey, listen, we're part of a top team. We have access to the top trainings in the company directly from that top coach. So I'm going to plug you into that, and then we'll hop on a call one-on-one where we can, chat a little more closely. But what's nice about that is now they're not feeling like, okay, I started this business and I have to do a coming out post and I have to invite and, I have to do all these things. And then somewhere in there, I have to figure out how to create my own trainings because that's what my coach did for me, right? So utilizing those resources is also kind of this peace of mind for people that, listen, you don't need to recreate the wheel. And so it's all about how we frame that. Again, this business is all about mindset. And so for me, my mindset in the beginning was very, very much, sorry guys, can you see me? Okay, you guys are good. Just making sure you could actually hear me. I'm not talking to myself. So for me in the beginning, I was all about being that big leader, and little did I realize sometimes trying to position myself as that big leader then intimidated other people and made them feel like, oh my gosh, she's like doing it all. Can I do this? And we all start from the same place. And so I like being able to tell my coaches, you also get access to these resources, which means now you have access to top trainings for all of your coaches who are then going to see faster success because of that. So some other ways to do that, but to share, your coach trainings besides a training website. I believe that Alyssa shared it. She had a PDF, and I'll go ahead and share my screen with you guys. So here we go. So I can show you guys. So this is our just team training hub. I have a setting up your business section. We go through week 1, and I'll talk more about what's in each of these. Week 2, additional social media training, and then resources. And so they can kind of step through each of those lessons. Now, some coaches are moving away from these larger kind of 14-day trainings. And I think it's important that you feel out what you respond to well in terms of coach training, because you are going to be recruiting the people who are like you. So if this would be overwhelming to you and this is too much, I believe that Alyssa shared this. This is the Getting Started checklist, and it's just a 1-page PDF. And I will put, I'll show you a couple different PDFs. I'll put these in the Slay Squad Action Academy, where we had the information about recruiting from Brittany and Melanie. And if you guys haven't watched that call from Brittany and Melanie, check that out. It was a January team call. And obviously this is kind of that next step after you've recruited your coaches. So this is one example of a getting started checklist. If you're like, listen, I just want to send them one really quick thing. Here is another one. This is the business kickoff. So setting your goals, personal growth, first things first. So one of the things I think is so important, and let me show you guys one more example. 5 steps to starting strong. So this is their important info, calls, meetings. Obviously this will be based on your team calls. Pick your path just so you guys know kind of where they are, which I think is really helpful for getting started right calls, creating vision, contact list, watching a video, and scheduling the game plan meeting. So one thing that all of these trainings have in common is that we are, I guess let me pull up the chat just so I can see it and make sure everything's good. So one thing, I will share, I'll put these documents in the Slay Squad Academy. I will share these PDFs with all of you. Yep, in the Action Academy. I'll share them all in there. And then you can kind of see which ones you like best and what works for your team. So one thing that all of these have in common is that we are helping our coaches take action very, very quickly. So when they come in and they're so excited, we want to make sure it's not overwhelmed with information, because we know it's a lot of information. And so for me, actually within my training, the very first video that they see, it's a quick 5-minute video, and it's very much like these PDFs. And in that video, I actually break down what their goals should be. Now, keep in mind, this is for coaches who say, yes, I want to be a business building coach, right? I want to be a business building coach. So if you want to come in, you want to build a business and you want to make an income, what do we need our coaches to do? Well, obviously they need to get their coming out post out there. They need to get an invite list, because without those two things, they can't see any results. They haven't actually started their business. And then I let them know, if you want to be a business building coach, here are your goals for the first 3 months in this business. 1, you're going to hit Success Club and Success Starters. And I just do a really, really quick explanation. And sometimes I find the easiest explanation of success, how you hit Success Club, is you find 3 people and you just sign them up the exact same way that you did. So you just signed up, you bought a challenge pack, and you're starting a program. So most of my coaches last month were starting Transform 20. Awesome. So now you've got your coming out post ready, you've got your list of people, you're going to start sharing your Transform 20 journey, and then you're going to invite people to join you to do it. They're watching you, it's perfect, right? You're showing them that program, that journey, you're being that product to the product. So your goal now is to find 3 people to do that with you. We're going to sign them up exactly how I signed you up, meaning we're going to sign them up as discount coaches as well. So I introduce them to Share a Cart. I just give them a little video and let them know, when you find 3 people now, you've hit Success Club in your first month and you've hit Emerald, which is my second goal for my coaches. So my first one, we're going to hit Success Club every single month, because without doing that, you're not moving your business forward. You're just a hobby coach. You're just a discount coach. And you guys are, you guys are coming in and saying, I want to build a business. So I want you to make money. I want you to make your investment back, and I want you to keep building on that. And then from there, I want you to hit Emerald, because how I explain Emerald and these ranks, again, I'm keeping it as simple as possible. You want to hit Emerald because you want to prove that you're moving your business forward. You've posted this coming out post, right? And so people are kind of watching you, like, what are you doing? When you hit Emerald in those first 30 days, what are you doing? You are now proving to people that you're building a legitimate business and you're starting to build that momentum. And then the next goal I tell them is, we're going to hit Diamond in 90 days. Coaches don't know what Diamond even is, right? Before they come in. It's just a rank. It's just something. I find that when I help my coaches set their goals in the beginning, that is then the expectation and the path. Sometimes I feel like we make Diamond into this really big thing, right? And it's so scary. But if you came in, your coach was like, okay, so we're going to hit Success Club every month, we're going to hit Emerald, then we're going to hit Diamond. And if your coaches, if they're hitting Success Club 10, just 5 people, I mean, even if they are only signing 3 people in Success Club 5, that's 9 discount coaches in 3 months. They now have their 4 and 4 on each side, right? They're Emeralds. And again, this we teach later down the road, but you're not setting up false expectations. If we can help our coaches hit Success Club, we can help them rank advance. And then those customers are helping in month 1 and month 2. We're going to convert them into their business building coaches, who will then become their Emeralds. So for me, the basis of this business, and again, you guys are probably so sick of hearing about it, but it's what our new coaches need to hear, is that you have to hit Success Club, and you're just going to sign people up exactly like you did. So in my new coach training, that's kind of the first video. And in those PDFs, that's the first thing they talk about as well, right? We do our coming out post. We make our list, and then we're going to start inviting. So while my coaches are waiting to get on a Getting Started Right call, they already are thinking about that coming out post, if not already taking action on it, and they've already created their list of invites. And now we're to the point when you do get on a Getting Started Right call, they at least have something to talk to you about. So one thing I really like about having a more in-depth training is that my coaches can go through that and we get on the Getting Started Right call, because it is a lot of information. And so I tell them, go through it. You're probably going to have to go through it again. But when we get on this Getting Started Right call, they're able to ask me questions, and more intelligent questions. I don't know about you guys, but you get on Getting Started Right calls and you feel like you're like this broken record, like you're saying the same thing over and over and over again. And these documents or trainings allow them to have a little bit more background information. And then your Getting Started Right calls actually a little bit deeper. So, and of course on Getting Started Right calls, I'm always, talking about what is that big why, because it's really important to know what our coaches are driving for, because we know in that first, some people have incredible first months. It's easy. They've got a great warm market. Other people, it's not so easy. And month 2, month 3, we know we're going to get a ton of no's and there's going to be silence. And so we have to have a way to connect with our coaches, tell them, yeah, that's going to happen, but also reassure them, that it's normal, and reconnect back with that big why. Why are you doing this? So what? You got 10 no's, but you want to come home and, from your full-time job and be at home with your baby? It was 10 no's, So putting things in perspective for them. And another thing that I also do is with my new coaches, each month I create a little new coach chat pod. I know we have a lot of chats and we have a lot of groups, but what I love about these chat groups is I kind of call it it's like their little class, just like if we were freshmen or junior or senior in school. And so this is their class that they kind of grow up with, and they get to know one another. And as your teams grow, you guys need to be really aware of where and how your time is best spent. So for me, I actually do kind of group Getting Started Right calls. And one thing I will say, I'll go back to the chat in a minute, but one thing I love about a group Getting Started Right call, there's probably 5 or 6 of them on there, but they feed off each other's questions. And that same thing happens in these little chat threads. So as I add people and as I get started, they're asking questions and I'm able to answer. But when I'm not able to answer right away, there's other coaches in there who can help them. And it not only, helps that they have that community they're building, it also helps your new coaches gain confidence. When they're like, oh yeah, I can answer that question. That's huge for a new coach. Oh, I know how to build, do share a card, or I know how to send a custom link. Let me send that to you. So you're helping your new coaches build confidence. You're helping them build community. And then you're also making sure to shout them out in these little chat threads. Oh my gosh, Sam just got 2 points, 2 Success Club points, congrats, or so-and-so just rank advanced to Emerald. This is huge. As they're seeing the people who joined with them hit these milestones, they realize, okay, this is possible. It's not just my coach who was able to hit diamond, or star diamond, whatever rank you may be, because to them, you are this top coach. And so a lot of times they're like, well, great, she can do it, whatever. They have the excuses in their head. But when they see other people do it who started the exact same time that they did, it kind of takes away their excuses and fuels them. So I love having these little chats for them. And I'll say before, I was recruiting kind of enough people to have my own chat threads, I would do it with other coaches on the team. So I'd be like, if you have a success partner, hey, let's team up and put a chat together. But I love it because it does help to save me time. And I'll say the same thing with utilizing these resources, guys. Your coach has created. It's going to save you time in the long run so you can focus on the things that you really need to focus on to move your business forward. And this is so cyclical because it really does go back to recruiting. So the other thing, so we've got our, they join, we get them an email out. In that email is that initial PDF or initial new coach training. For me, I ask them to email me back to set up a Getting Started Right call. So I say, hey, let me know kind of what works for you. But I'm not going to chase them down. I did that a lot as a new coach. I chased and I chased and I chased. you guys know if someone wants to build this business, like if they're ready to go, your coach would never have to chase you. If you're on this call right now, like I'm 5,000% positive, you weren't being like, your coach wasn't chasing you, right? You were ready to go. And so I'm not going to chase my coaches. And I will say that decision came with confidence. And I want you all to have confidence that you have access to the best trainings. So if you're like, gosh, this coach, like she's just not taking action or she's not doing something, that's not you. So once you set up your system, you need to believe 100%, I have done everything for this coach to ensure success. So again, for me, that's the welcome email. It's knowing and having confidence in my new coach training. And then it's setting them up in that smaller chat thread so I know I'm connecting with them on a daily basis. And that saves me time too. Like I'm not writing a bunch of different coaches individually. I'll do a morning check-in. How is everyone doing? Where are we, with Pushing to Success Club? Where are you guys seeing issues? But again, it's about utilizing my time wisely and theirs. Because once again, that chat thread allows us all to brainstorm together and we are so much stronger together. And so then from there, the other really important thing that gives me confidence is knowing that I have the resources available to my coaches. And the most important resources I feel like in the beginning are, and I put them in my new coach training, these could be things that you even put in your welcome email. When you're ready, here is a Google document with our top resources, however you want to organize it or however your coach has organized it, for you and your team. But those are things like example coming out post. So if they're like, gosh, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do a coming out post. I'm like, go check out the example coming out posts, make them your own, but it's a great starting place. Scripts for inviting, of course we want to invite in our own voice, but a script can really help a new coach just take that first step. Scripts for inviting to coaching, scripts for overcoming objections. So when I'm thinking of resources, it's things, really tangible things like that connect to those first actions that I'm asking them to take. So those are, we've got our email, new coach training, I've got resources readily available for them, and then I have the confidence to know that I've done everything I can for them. And again, it comes back to recruiting. One thing, it's February and I have coaches who are like, oh my gosh, like I recruited 5 business builders in January, like we are going all in and like diving into trainings and they are going to be like my rock star coaches. And like, these are my 5 for elite. This is it. I've got my 5 for elite. I probably 1 out of 10 coaches who say they're going to be a business building coach actually like go on to really build a business. And I don't tell you that to discourage you. I tell you that because I want you to be confident in the resources you have and the resources that your teams have, and plug people into those resources and never forget about recruiting, because it has to be something that you do every single month to ensure that you find those rock stars. And I'm also not saying, okay, be like, go off on your own, to your new coaches, but there has to be a really strong balance and understanding that just because someone says they're going to be a business builder doesn't mean that they really are and that they're really ready to put in that time. And so I tell people, you guys have heard it a million times, right? Like meet someone where they are. And so if they're ready to run, let's run. If they're going to walk. But it means you're going to, get a little bit less of my time. And that's how I want you guys to really protect your time and not just pour into people and then them quit or do nothing. And you now feel discouraged and like you're behind on your goals. So, Megan, I can totally share my scripts as well. So what other questions do you guys have about getting coaches started right? I mean, again, I try to keep it really simple. We're going to hit Success Club. We're going to sign people up as discount coaches. And by doing that, you're going to get to Emerald. On the road to elite, for all of us, as we look at getting points, I mean, for me, I want my points to come from my coaches seeing success, and that's helping them hit Success Club, and that's helping them earn money in their first month, right? That's something that I kind of tell people when they sign up, listen, it's one of my goals to make sure you earn back your initial investment. I tell them that before they sign up. And so when they sign up and I say, awesome, now we're going to find 3 people to do exactly what you just did, that's $150. So we've pretty much covered, that $160 challenge pack. And so I'm just keeping my word by helping them set these goals. Let me see. Yeah, when if someone's struggling by the fact they weren't showing up anymore, or if you sent a how is everyone doing message and they didn't say great, and they are struggling, they need to feel comfortable coming to you and asking questions. Yeah, so for me, if someone's like radio silent, I definitely will reach out to them one-on-one. And that is once a week, I'll kind of go through the chat thread, see who's not participating, and then I'll reach out to them. So you're exactly right. You know if someone's kind of disconnecting, and you're able to touch in with them privately as well. But I'm not going to do that like every single week. Like if I touch in with you and you don't respond to me, again, I'm not going to chase people and keep following up. Do you just flat out sign people up as coaches and not challengers? So I did in the beginning. I signed pretty much everyone up as discount coaches. And actually now with the changes to the elite, so before, I don't really get to get into it, but with points with elite, signing people up as discount coaches wasn't to your advantage, but now some of that has changed. So what I do is I offer everyone the discount coach option. So it's not like I just send them the link and all of a sudden they see like they're a coach. I let them know when they're like, yes, I'm ready to sign up. I'm like, awesome. So we have 2 options. One, we sign you up for, I call it our VIP loyalty program. So we sign you up for our VIP loyalty program, the exact same cost to sign up. You save 25% off your future orders. You pay a $15.95 a month fee to be part of the loyalty program, but you still save almost like $20 on your Shakeology every month. And then I just say, especially for Transform 20, 80-day obsession, anything that's even Live 4, right? Anything that's longer than 4 weeks, I say, we're going to be working together for at least 2 months. So it makes the most sense to sign up for the loyalty program, save money on your next shipment of Shakeology, and then you can decide from there if you want to continue. And then I say, or, you can just sign up as a customer and decide down the road. So I give them the option, but most of my customers do sign up for that loyalty program. Yeah, Stephanie, why not just use the Beachbody Champions page success starters video? Yeah, you totally can. Once again, I think for me, I wanted to have, like you said, they just came out with it. So within my new coach training, I have videos from Beachbody Champions page. I have videos from other top coaches that I've loved from trainings and that kind of stuff. So you can pull videos and resources that you think are best for your teams. So yeah, if you're like, if that's all my coaches need to see, that's all they need to see. And I love it because the Beachbody Champions page has so much incredible content. So if you guys see a video on there and you're like, this is amazing, again, don't recreate the wheel, just use it. Definitely. One thing I've learned I don't want to do is be dismissive to people because I felt like I was unimportant when I've come to my upline for questions. Yeah, totally. No, you don't want to make anyone feel like that. And that is one of the things that I love about the chat thread is that we're all one community and we're all new coaches. So they're all new coach questions in there. And it makes, as an upline, it makes you personally available to them, and so I love that. I literally voice message with my girls all day. And so I I think in some ways it's less scary to be in a chat thread than messaging your upline where you're like, oh my gosh, like my upline's 4-time top coach, Melanie Mitro, like, and I'm going to ask her about how do you share a cart, right? Like you said, sometimes that can be intimidating. And so I love these new coach chat threads where our coaches now feel they're in a smaller, safer group and they have that access to you without sending you like a personal message. How often that's a good question, after getting started right calls, do you have one-on-ones? So for me, with getting started right calls, so I do the group getting started right calls that I mentioned. And then after that, my coaches, if they hit Success Club or they have to put a Success Club point like on the board, and then we can get on a one-on-one call. And they also have to send me their tracker. Those calls I'll do like monthly. And what I'll say is, what I learned is I had a lot of coaches asking for one-on-one calls, and we'd spend a lot of time on one-on-one calls and they wouldn't spend a lot of time taking action. And so if I have a coach who, sends me their tracker, is like, gosh, I don't have any Success Club points on the board, but here's my tracker and I've messaged 100 people. Yes, we're going to get on a call. But for me, with a one-on-one call, I need to see that the coaches are taking action. And I think one of the hardest things for me in the beginning was asking people to stay accountable to themselves. Asking someone for a tracker just means you're asking them to work their business, So I think sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not going to do a tracker, or I should be able to get on a call with you whenever. Well, it's also going to be a waste of your time when you hop on the call and I'm like, so what have you done to meet those goals? And you can't tell me. So getting started right calls, I normally do one-on-one calls I'll do like monthly. They need to have their tracker filled out for the entire first week beforehand. And I do ask that, hopefully they at least have 2 Success Club points on the board, because once again, I want to see that they're taking action in their business, that they're moving their business forward. So I'd say just be careful, because I used to have one-on-one calls like every week, and it was a waste of their time too. It's too much. That 30 minutes, they could have just sent out 20 invites, and that's a better use of their time. So Carrie, I do have a getting started right. I have a little presentation that I can put in there. It's like a PDF that I walk through with all my coaches. So when we get on, we do a Zoom call, do a little screen share. And a lot of it, I will say, is like almost like a repeat of the training, but I just want to emphasize some different points. And then afterwards, we have a 30-minute Q&A where, again, it's only like 5 to 6 of us on there, which is kind of nice, but we can all ask questions. But I can put them in the page as well. Do you ever have people who you feel like are capable of more, but fear takes hold? Yeah. How do you find the line between people who will/can and those who aren't deserving of your time? Yeah. So it really comes down to, I need to see, so you need to be posting and you need to be inviting. Even if you are like, I'm like, oh my gosh, your social media is insane. Your transformation's incredible. You already have people asking you questions. And like, we'll have that conversation, right? And you want to build your coaches up, of course. Like, you want them to feel empowered to go out there and do it. But if 3 weeks into the business, they still haven't posted and they're not inviting, that's when I'll do another check-in and be like, what is holding you back? And what are your goals? I always bring it back to like that big why that they had. What are you scared of? Or I could just be like, what? It's too time consuming. Like, I don't want to do it. Or I'm scared to post to social media, or, those kind of things. And so when it's fear that's holding them back, I really try to reconnect with them on their big why. And at the end of that conversation, I give them an assignment. So I'm like, okay, so you do want this. You still want this? And they're like, yes, I need this for my family. All right, then this next week, here's your tracker. Do it every single day. Don't think about it. Don't put emotion behind it, right? Get out there, connect, invite, grow your network. And at the end of this week, let's see how you feel. And let's see how you've moved your business forward. So for those who I feel like are just, and those that feel stuck and just scared, it's really a conversation and connecting with why and connecting emotionally, and then giving them an assignment to take action. And if they can't take action after that conversation, maybe this isn't the right time. And so then it's, okay, so what held you back? Why didn't you do this? I thought this was about your family XYZ. And why didn't you do it? And again, that holding people accountable part feels really hard in the beginning, but that's what we're here for. Like, I'm here to be your coach. I'm here to make sure you see success. So if I just say, oh, it's okay, like, let's try again, and you just keep failing over and over again without us digging really into what is the issue, I'm not doing my job in helping you see success, which is exactly what I promised you when you signed up. So help them set the goals, but what snags are common and how do you help them? So I think the biggest thing for new coaches, I'm sure we've probably all heard, is, I'm messaging or I'm inviting and nothing, right? That's the thing that I hear the most. Either I'm getting a ton of no's or I'm just not hearing anything. And so when that happens, we're going to look at, and I think this is really important, looking at who are you sending these invites to? Is it warm market or is it cold market? Because sometimes in these chat threads, girls will be like, oh my gosh, like I've hit Success Club, or I did this and I did this. And other coaches are like, I am getting all no's. Like, what are you doing? And the coaches who are hitting Success Club quickly in that month one are talking to their warm market. Most of them are utilizing a Facebook page full of friends and family that they've had, on there forever. My girls who are saying, gosh, well, I sent the same number of invites, most of the time trying to utilize like a brand new account. Either they started a brand new like page or a brand new Facebook page or a brand new Instagram page, and they are working in completely cold market. And there is a huge difference in the response that you're going to get from a warm market invite and a cold market invite. And so that's what I start talking to coaches about, is who are we inviting? And then we start looking at, okay, what do those invites look like? And what are our connection messages looking like? And what is your social media looking like? And it's less about the perfect photo and perfect lighting, but it's more about the message that you're sending and how are we connecting with people. So in our trainings, we talk about like avatars and what's your brand and how are you telling your story. And so I really want to make sure that my coaches know who they're talking to and who they're connecting with, and that their invites kind of align with that. Because if I have someone who says, yeah, like, I'm a new mom and blah, blah, blah. Well, a new mom with kids and she's posting about those things probably shouldn't be inviting like a ton of men, because they're probably not connecting with her post. And so really looking at, again, warm market, cold market, what does our social media look like? And then how are we talking to people? But I think the biggest snag is people comparing a number of warm market invites to number of cold market invites, because it is different. It is for sure. And cold market too, you need more time to gain their trust. So even if you're having those conversations, it's just going to take them longer to pull the trigger and actually buy. Do you still send welcome emails to discount coaches? I don't send welcome emails to discount coaches. That is like, again, I think it depends on the team that you're on and how your coach views that. I mean, Ashley Molstead, top coach right now, she signs everyone as discount coaches. She sends them all a welcome email. She puts them all on a team page. For me, that would have been a really big turnoff. Because I would have been like, I literally said I wanted the VIP customer program. I do not want to coach. Like, why are you putting me in here? But again, Ashley Molson is the number one coach in the company right now. So I'm not going to question her methods. I think for me and my business, it's very much, what do I feel comfortable with? What am I confident in? And I'm confident that I'm going to stay connected with my discount coaches, and I'm going to give them an incredible challenge group experience. And then I'm going to invite them to coaching, down the road through through their challenge group experience. And if they want to coach, I'll then send them the welcome email. But that's, again, kind of for me. How much time do you allow for GSR calls? How do you keep them structured? Okay, yeah. So I do an hour GSR call, and I'll post the PDF. But I go through the PDF and I let them know, kind of like save your questions till the end. And then it's like kind of like 20 minutes to go through the PDF. I get really excited and I like to talk a lot. So I try to like really kind of contain myself, not overwhelm them. And then at the end, we go through and ask questions. So Mary, do you give them the option to become a discount coach first, or in the share cart sign them up? Yeah. I just answered my question. Yeah. So I communicate with all of my challengers, potential challengers and coaches through email. I use Google Streak, and during the email process before sending share a cart is when I offer it to them. How do you go about coaches saying they have big goals, wanting to do the work, but excuses being made? Where do you draw that line of supporting and dragging? So I very much like kind of put their goals back in front of them. So when I have coaches joining the team, I actually have them fill out a little, it's just like a Google form. And it's before they sign up as a coach, I ask them what their goals are. And then in the GSR call, we talk about their big why. And so they're telling me, okay, I want to be like a part-time coach. I want to be a coach earning $50K a year. I want to be a top 10 coach right beside you earning $100,000 a year. And so I have those goals. And then from there, I have their why. And so when they are saying they have these big goals, that they want to do the work, and then they come back to me and they're like, oh, gosh, like, my kids just aren't sleeping, or I didn't have, I had to move, or I'm pregnant. So I'll say I address concerns super publicly as well, like in my team page. I've moved 4 times, 3 times cross country, once internationally. I've been through 2 pregnancies. I was single mom, my husband lived in France and I had a newborn. And I just tell my coaches that right away. So first off, that helps with excuses. And then, but then if they say, listen, I am moving and I have a kid who's not sleeping, like I just don't have the time for this. Then I say, okay, so that expectation that you wanted to be a top 10 coach, or that you wanted to earn $50K a year, we need to reassess that. So how much time are you willing to spend on this business? And let's talk about realistically what you can expect. And if you're saying, I can send like 3 invites a day, I'm going to tell you, like, with 3 invites a day, I don't even know that you're going to hit Success Club. It's not enough. And so I make sure, I really try to ask questions. And for me, I want to make sure that my coaches can never come back and say, like, well, you promised me I'd make $100,000 a year and I didn't, and I followed your instructions. Like, no, we need to sit down and individually look at what you need to do for your business. So for those coaches who have excuses, let them have excuses. Those are your excuses. So now tell me, if you're moving, if you've got this going on, how much time can you devote to this business? And then we're going to talk about what we can expect the outcomes to be. And so it's just very like, my background's engineering, so I just like very cut and dry. And there's no emotion. And I think something I had to learn on my journey as well, right? We get so attached to our coach's outcome because it becomes part of our own, right? In terms of rank and where we're trying to get in our business. And I had to let that go and say, okay, your goals are your goals and my goals are my goals. So I need to make sure I understand yours so that I can then move forward to whoever actually does want to work this and work mine. And I need to make sure that you understand that initial goal you set, it's not going to happen because now you're changing the parameters. And so as long as I do those things and just, again, there's not emotion behind it, and I'm not offended that you're moving, you don't have time to work this business, but we just need to make sure that you understand what that means for your business and for your family and the people you're setting goals for. Do they ask why it says coach when you tell them it's called VIP loyalty program? Yeah, so that's in my script as well. I said, you'll see coach when signing up. don't worry, you're signing up for our VIP loyalty program. You can cancel at any time, and there's no sales requirements or anything like that. So I let them know that they're gonna see coach. Yeah, like a Costco membership. Awesome. So after GSR call, blah, 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 blah. After GSR call, how long do you touch base with them or set up another call? So after the GSR call, they should already be in that chat thread. And from there, they know if they need a private conversation with me, that they can set that up, that they can message me about that. So a lot of times, I'll usually at the end of the month, so because I do them by like month, right? So I've got like my January 2019 coaches, post in there if you need a one-on-one call, we can set that up. And then again, I'll say, here's the tracker that you should be filling out. That tracker I have several trackers that are in our new coach training. So they know from the beginning they should have been filling out trackers. And that you had Success Club points on the board in January. Again, if they signed up as a coach at the end of January, it's a little different. But for me and my coaches, we really, really, really do most of our chatting in those little groups. I mean, it's where we kind of create that community. And then I will say every Saturday, again, we all have so many resources available to us. On Saturdays, I do a Saturday morning coffee chat, and it's just an open forum. So most of my coaches, if they have a question and they need something, Saturday morning, they just hop on sometime in that hour, and they're able to ask me that question. And again, it saves me time. They can hear from other coaches can hear from them. I've really worked on streamlining a lot of these processes, and it's helped. The group chats help, and the Saturday morning call has been super helpful. So I think sometimes too, if you just have an open forum where you can be like, listen, if you guys have questions, hop on, let's brainstorm together. That's really helpful. If someone wants to sign up under you but have another coach, won't that coach know they switched? A close friend wants to sign up under me, but they don't want to take away from another. So, I mean, if someone's a discount coach, like under another coach, then there's really no way to switch them. I mean, they could cancel and wait 6 months. And then customers can just switch between coaches. The other coach isn't notified. I will say with that, guys, though, like I always, if someone's like, oh yeah, I bought from Beachbody in the past, like, but I want to work with you, I just literally, it's like in my snippet in Google Chrome, and be like, I would love to work with you. I just want to make sure you're not working with an active coach, that you're not actively being supported, that you're not actively in a challenge group, because I never want to feel like I'm like stealing someone's customer. Now, as we know, coaches quit, and there are a lot of people out there who do not have support, or a lot of people who just bought through the website. So if that's the case, having them switch is not going to it doesn't like notify a coach or anything, but I just always make sure that I know that they're not actively working with another coach. So yeah, and Jess just said it's incredibly hard to switch coaches if she's a coach. Yeah, exactly. Do you only add PS coaches to these pods, or do you add new downline coaches, especially if your PS coach that signed up, the new coach, isn't really good at mentoring yet? So all last year, my new coach chats were like my entire downline. And one thing that I loved about that was my great coaches who were recruiting were also in there. So it wasn't just me answering questions. My other top coaches were in there answering questions as well. That started getting a little out of hand. They got too big. I definitely, and again, with like my GSR calls, I like to keep them like 10 and under, and my Saturday morning coffee chats, they don't get crazy because it's just people hopping on. So maybe like 20 and under. And then these chat threads started getting where it was like 75 people, and you guys know chat threads like get insane. It was too many. So this year I just switched it to my PS. If I have a brand new PS coach who's like, I don't know what I'm doing, like help me mentor, yes, definitely have them add their coaches in for sure. But in general, it's now just my PS coaches, but that is just to try to keep it a size because I do really want to know my coaches. I don't want to miss a bunch of messages, and I don't want them to get so overwhelmed by the thread that they're not using it. Yeah, Crystal, and a lot of my coaches say this too. I get so discouraged because I'm trying so hard and I can't get an SC point on the board, but I'm still trying. I'm still, you're still there and you're still showing up. And for sure, like we need to support every coach who's putting in the effort. And for me, that's where like the tracker is going to show me like, listen, I'm showing up. I was on our team call. Like I'm doing the trainings, I'm messaging. And I'm like, then let's get on a one-on-one call, right? And let's look at maybe what's not working. But in general, again, this is for you guys to be able to protect your time as well and not get so overwhelmed with this business that you're getting on one-on-one calls and they're just like the same thing. Like, I can't find anyone, and and you're like, what are you doing? So, but no, there are definitely those coaches that are like, it's hard in the beginning sometimes to gain that traction. And for sure, we want to be supporting our coaches. But I do think that's also have confidence in those training guys. We have incredible trainings. How do you go about coaches? Sorry guys, this went back up. I'm not doing my job of helping you see success when that's it. Yeah. Sorry guys, if you're not right. So if they aren't doing it, not right time. Sorry, Natalie, this was totally lost. But if you said, so if they aren't doing it / not right time, do you tell them that? If you can expand on that, I can hopefully answer that. I do welcome emails like they're a customer for my DCs. Yeah, I do the same thing. Do you mention your discount coaches? If they have friends and family to sign up, they would receive commission. So Mary, I do. So what I do is at the end of or probably about 2 weeks through a challenge group, if like they are just like killing it, you're like, yes, you'd be such an amazing coach. Then I reach out to them and I ask them, first off, would you be interested in coaching? They're like, still just like dead set, no coaching. Then that's when I mention to them, hey, you can have your friends and family sign up who are watching you see these insane results and you can get your Shakeology paid for. So that's when I mention it. So they're already signed up as a discount coach. I offer them coaching, like business building, and then step it down to, do you have anyone you would want to refer? Well, I guess refer for yourself so you can make the income. And then after that, if they're like, no, like I don't want any part of this, I'm like, awesome. Well, if you have referrals, let me know. We'll either get them signed up underneath you or we can get them in a group with me. But I do tell them that later. Let's see. Yeah, Instagram. Sorry, there's some conversation on Instagram. Agree. Hashtags are big on Instagram, as well as like geotagging and locations, all of that. For the loyalty program, do you tell them they need to stay active? No, I don't talk to them about any of that. If I see that they're about to go inactive, I'll reach out to them and just ask them, hey, you're still in the challenge group, still active. I see that your Shakeology was supposed to ship. Looks like you didn't get it. Is everything okay? Most times you'll be like, yeah, I just skipped a month because I had too much. But it's a really easy way to check in with people. But I just treat them like customers. I'm not explaining to customers they need any sort of PV. So I don't worry about that. This isn't really getting started, right? But do you suggest coaches create a business page or use a personal page? So Stephanie, like you, I did a paid training to build my business page. So again, this is kind of not GSR, but for me, what I do, and it's new coaches, so it's what I recommend for them. So I recommend that they use their personal Facebook page and an Instagram account. I let them know I grew a huge business using a Facebook like page. But Facebook like pages are very much pay to play. And so with a new coach starting right now, I don't want them just putting a ton of content on a Facebook like page that no one will see. I find that a lot of my new coaches will hide behind Facebook like pages or hide behind a brand new Instagram account, say they're posting, and I go look and they have 10 followers. I'm like, well, no one's seeing it. It doesn't count. So I really try to get them to utilize their personal Facebook warm market first, and then and also to start growing their Instagram. And then when they're not so overwhelmed by new coach training and all of that, if they think Facebook like page is somewhere they want to grow, I tell them, all right, start up that Facebook like page, start sharing content to both platforms. And then it's a pay to play kind of world on like pages right now, especially if you didn't build earlier. Do you say it sounds like it's not the right time because you're not willing to put in the work? I'm here to help you when you're ready, and just emphasize they still have the discount. How early do you encourage new coaches to start their own accountability group? Yeah, so if I have a coach who, I mean, I don't think I'd ever be like, you're just not willing to put in the work, but I think very much it's meeting them where they are. So it's, you know what? I've been through moves. I know how hard it is, or like, I know how exhausting that first trimester of pregnancy is, or whatever their excuse is. I do try to, it's almost like using feel, felt, found with them, right? Like, I know how you feel. I've been there. And then I let them know how I built through those circumstances. And then I say, but if right now is not the right time for you, then let's talk about what you're going to do, what you can do during this process, so I can help them set goals so they don't feel like they're failing, right? We have a lot of coaches quit because they feel like they're failing because oh, well, you told me to hit Success Club and hit Emerald and hit Diamond, and I didn't do it, and now I'm failing. You're not failing, but let's reassess what your goals are at this point in your life and make them doable for you. So give those coaches some small wins. And then how early do you encourage new coaches to start their own accountability groups? So I pretty much tell coaches like, hey, and I have a lot of coaches who start with me who have never done an accountability group before. So I get them in one of my accountability groups, and then just so they can start their own journey, through that first accountability group, they're inviting, they're sharing. That second accountability group that they're in, we kind of co-host together. And then after that, I do encourage them to utilize their own group. I think a lot of times, I also, that's scary, right? Oh, I only have 3 people. How can I do an accountability group? So what I also encourage is for them to post in our team page, post when they want to start a group, and team up with other coaches. And I've seen a lot of new coaches moving forward and out of my groups more quickly when they team up with other coaches. So, and again, this doesn't even have to be in the big team page. This can be in that chat thread. In the new coach chat thread, they'll be like, hey guys, like I think I'm gonna run my own, or I have a group starting on this date. Does anyone have people to add? And so that's a really good way to encourage them to start running their own accountability groups. But I definitely say, hey, run one with me, because again, it's about simplifying the process for them. So I want you posting, I want you inviting, I want you hitting Success Club. Let me do all the, behind the scenes work in terms of challenge groups until you kind of have your footing. And then you can run one with other coaches. So hopefully that is helpful. All right, guys, it is 9 o'clock. I hope it was helpful and not just kind of all over the place. I'm going to post these resources for you guys in the Slay Squad Action Academy. And again, we're all going to have different ways we do it and different ways we feel comfortable. And some of these things that I may have said, you're like, oh my gosh, I could never say that to a coach, or that just seems like not nice, or whatever it may be. You're like too intense. I've been told you're a very intense coach. But you have to find what works for you, and you're going to attract those people to you. So, and same thing with your upline. You probably have a really similar style to your upline, which is why I think it's amazing to be able to utilize their resources and have confidence in those resources. So thank you guys so much. Like, it's amazing getting to talk to all of you. It is just like such a privilege. So, all right, guys, have a good night, and I'll get those resources posted. Bye, guys.